To the cow, sibuyele enkomeni, sanibonani. Okay guys, remember bengithumelele these pamphlets. So zika paper 2. So from the pamphlets that you have, benithumelele zona egroupini, some as individuals. We are doing question 5. I-trig question. So these are videos zokwenza question 5 wase-Northern Cape. Okay, without wasting time, let's go straight to corrections. I leave ukuziphendula ezi questions abanye abakwazanga because of the busy zezinye exams, but so that nazi corrections just in case we don't have time to go through all the corrections, so I decided to do them up on YouTube. Okay, without wasting time, let's go straight to the cows. Now the first question, kuthiwa apha 5.1, kuthiwa simplify the following expression without using a calculator. So they have given us sine, the expression that they want us to simplify, sine 90 minus x multiplied by 10, 360 degrees minus x minus 2 sine 180 degrees plus x. Okay, then to simplify, remember when you are simplifying, you are checking for you need to know your cast diagram, right? And you need to know your reduction formulas. Okay, so before you start any question a trick, or should we just sikhumbuzane nge diagram before we answer, we go any further? Sikhumbuzane cast diagram is that will SSRs need that throughout. So the first one is I think a cast diagram. Okay, which is that all. So in reduction formulas, we have first quadrant, remember, is second quadrant. This is our third quadrant, and this is our fourth quadrant. Okay, we know our reduction formula for the first quadrant. We have theta here, any angle, if it's theta, remember an angle that is less than 90, so it falls, but greater than 0, it falls under the first quadrant. But that angle must be less than the theta subtractable from 90. Then in order for the angle to fall, or the diagonal quadrant, that means it have to be greater than 90. So it's 90 plus whatever the value of theta is. So in order for it to fall on this quadrant, in order for to fall on the third quadrant, it have to be 380. So it's going to be 180. Sorry. So again, you know this 270 minus, it's 270 plus. Okay, then here remember we started with theta. So when theta is going this way clockwise, but again theta can go, your aunt is going, and theta can move, the angle can move anti-clockwise, so can move clockwise as well. So it's moving clockwise, that means it will be negative theta. Okay, so this is another reduction formula. Then the other one, the last one, it's 360 minus theta. Okay, and also what else do you need to know is your special angles. Normally guys, the determiner is special angles using, if so remember, if when it tape triangles, it's fine. So but students the chair using a Venn diagram. Remember guys, stay up as 30 in fact 0 degrees for the horizontal line, then this one is 30, 45, 60, the last one it's 90 degrees. Okay, we said that from here for coordinates, remember coordinates, it has to be x and y. So this means for our first coordinate, z to upper will be first coordinate up, what we are sure of in that vertical line, that x is 0. So it's going to be, for x is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for a coordinate of x. Then what about y? Then now for y, we are sure also y on the horizontal line, y is 0 here on that horizontal line. So y is 0 phana kula x-axis. Then we start from 0, sibethi reverse jive. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then the last piece, root in everything. You root everything, you root everything, you root everything, you root everything, you root everything. If you feel like writing it in simplicity, you can simplify it, or you can just leave it like that. Then sibuye sibe no r, that is always equal to 2. So if you are using the Venn diagram, you already know that sine has to be equal to y over r. Cos is always x over r. Then tan is equal to what? Is equal to y. Or you need to know your ratios. Remember, okay. Now, with eziyazimbalwa izinto singaya ku question yethu. Sorry for taking ixesha lenu. Okay, reduction formula. You know that minus x is on the first quadrant, and everything on the first quadrant is positive. So the answer that we are expecting will be positive as well. Then sine way 2, where cos of the 90 will become cos. So the answer here is going to be cos x. From here, we turn 360 minus, this is the third quadrant. And we know on the third quadrant, only cos is negative. But okay, then in negative multiplication, because it was sine 90 minus x multiplied by tan, so we take the negative sign. So ibeka ngaphambili is going to change every yonke sign yale expression, remember, because of the multiplication. Then we'll have what? 10 x minus upper. On this side we'll have what? So 180 plus, which quadrant is it? Is the second quadrant. It's the third quadrant, and sine weight happens to be negative on that quadrant. So now whatever answer we are expecting is step standelayo, we'll have to have a negative answer, but already there's a negative answer in front of sine. So which means izochinja is sign. Remember, when you are introducing a negative sign, that means you are changing the sign of the expression. So the sign of the expression, because it was negative, now it's going to change automatically, be positive. So it's over 2 sine x. I hope it's make sure. Then we move down. We will have negative cos x. Tan, we know that tan x is sine x over cos x plus 2 sine x. So by drawing here, this and this will cancel. Kosheka negative side. Kosheka negative sine x plus 2 sine x. So negative 1 plus 2 sine plus 2 sine is going to give us sine x. So nanti a simplified version of the expression. Uthathe u5 marks wakho ophisayo. Then singaphosisanga maseko, we go straight to question 5.2. Calculate the value of the following without using a calculator. Another expression. And they expect us to calculate it without using a calculator. So this plus x cos 7 minus x plus cos 23 plus x sine 7 minus x. Okay. Now this expression, now into ichonga as a student, is that uchonga the angles inside the bracket, your angles. So I can see that there's this angle 23 plus x, that's our angle, and we have another this angle, we have 27 7 minus x. And because is the product a1, because uhlulwa into multiplication, remember zip before the sign, this is the dividing side, the subtracting, I don't know, I'm not meaning that yes subtract, but is the dividing sign, not to say that yohlula terms zethu into 2. So now this expression is in a terms as e2. Remember, in multiplication is merging it terms together. Ne? Okay, so we have our first term. Now into into common before addition sign and after addition sign. What do we have common? We notice that we have the angles are common. Firstly, this angle is common to this one, and this angle is common to this one. So that means we have not to change any angles because we have common angles. And because this is multiplication, it's sine multiplied by cos, and after the sine it's cos multiplied by sine. So you can know that lena is double angle sine. So it means if every angle are the same, we have the same angles before addition sign, the same angles after addition sign. You can see this by drawing this is a compound angle. So if it's a compound angle, that means one of the angle have to be A and the second one will be B. So now with compound angle is it the compound angle ka sine, because no sine or mixayo oba no sine no cos, or no cos no sine. Ne, because cos yena i compound angle yakhe ayishare ayimix ibe ngu sine no cos, iba ngu cos cos sine sine. Okay, so now we go see here, so express again as a single ratio, sithe the compound angle ka sine. So this one will be A, so it's 23 plus x. And siyayazi the compound angle ka sine is that I change a sign. The compound angle ka sine, if you had to sign A plus B, the expression yakho izoba ngubani phayana, expand simplify, izoba ngu sine A cos B plus cos A sine B. You can check it with formula sheet yakho. Okay, so which means according to chincha sign every angle sithatha ngesine yayo. So which means no samthatha as it is, ibing 7 minus x sizamzisa as 7 minus x, so izoba plus 7 minus x. I hope it's make sure, guys. Then you can see from here 23 plus 7 is 30. You are having sine 30. X, no, negative x, positive x, no, negative x, they will cancel each other. Then you are left with sine 30. You go back to your Venn diagram and check sine 30. Remember, sithe sine y, sine y over r, then sine 30, nanti line ka sine 30 upper on top of 30. So which means sine 30 y wethu root 1 1 low. So sine 30 is over 1 over r. R is always equal to 2. Okay, so 1 over 2. Uthathe I don't know 3 marks ophisayo. So selula ezi questions, guys, mandibaleke ke ngoku. Size kuleke ngoku i-diagram question. So benze nje i-twist, banikhupha kwisiqhelo, abaniqalisa nge-diagram question because seniyiqayile. Okay, now here we are given what? Sine 2 theta, which is equal to negative 4 root 2 over. Okay, ungawarisheki zi-radical signs because zininzi izinto i-student ezivese sibe nechala once zibone into engathi chaka kakhulu. Now this is a diagram question, and 2 theta is between 90 and 270. Determine value of the following without the use of a calculator. So, but we have to use a diagram. Okay, diagram here too. We start by drawing a Cartesian plane here too, and now we have to decide which quadrant is this falling. Now, by drawing the expression here, is the answer for sine 2 theta is negative. So sine in negative quadrant, with third quadrant and fourth quadrant. Okay, so possible quadrants for our diagram if the third quadrant and the fourth quadrant. Okay, now sibuye size kwi-restriction. Kwathiwa restriction must be between 90 and 270. So 90 here, 270 is here. So quadrant that quadrant is between 90 and 270, this one and this one. So the one with 2 ticks, yilena sizodrawa kuyo i-diagram yethu. I hope andikho fast. So kasizoba i-diagram yethu, that means i-diagram yethu izoba kule quadrant. Okay, then this is our diagram. Then now we have our diagram. Then now with diagram yethu, we need to decide which are we having X or are we having Y? Are we having R? From the expression, we know that usine, remember, beste usine kubani y over r, or opposite over hypotenuse. So you know that this is y and this is r. So r wako 9 from the expression, so you can put 9 over here. You can put y wako opposite, and this is the angle to theta. So opposite or y negative 4 root 2. Or omnye ubufuna uyibeka nge-coordinate uzoyibeka ngapha uthi negative 4 root 2 over 9. But ngifuna uyibeka ngale hlobo lifamiliar ngayo, ne? Okay, imele vertical. Okay, then we move on to, but now the distance is never negative, so hence ndikhuthaze into yokuba sisebenzise going to coordinate. So if we are using a coordinate, we are now saying that this will be x askamazi 2. So uyayazi xa uzofuna x uzodinga ntoni? uPythagoras theorem. Okay, so masijonge equation yethu kuthiwa kufuna cos 2 theta and it's for 3 marks. So for 3 marks ufuna cos 2 theta. So cos 2 theta, you know that cos 2 theta, cos x over r. That means you need now the value of x. So we'll start by looking for the value of x. But before the value of x, so it's up to you. But so kasifuna the value of x, sisebenzisa uPythagoras theorem. Siyayazi uba x, any side esilifunayo lilingana is equal to kudala siyithethe sini the root of the hypotenuse side squared minus the given side squared minus negative 4 root 2 all squared. Then now because of the quadrant, whereas any answer, okay, masiqale siyijonge with the calculator before you decide on the sign ukuba x wakho uzoba positive okanye uzoba negative, ne? Then mawuyicofoza ku calculator iza kantoni? So we have, you have your root 9 squared minus, which is 81, minus 16 times 2, surely 32, I think so. So that will give us 7. Okay, then that means x is 7 of the quadrant, x way 2 have to be negative. Ne? In my quadrant, remember this is the third quadrant, both to x no y, but negative kula quadrant. Ne? So we are looking for x, so that means this distance is negative 7. Ne? But the distance equals negative. We understand. Then now therefore we can now get cos 2 theta, because we know that cos 2 theta is x over r, and by joining negative 7 r way to 9. So this is our solution. Uthatha marks opisayo 5.32 beno sin theta. Usin theta wako naye you know sin theta ngu y over usin 2 theta lo ungu y, because remember angle yethu ayingu theta, usin 2 theta. So now on this one now, because it's double angle lena sithetha sidila ngayo, Now uzocinga yeyiphi double angle. Remember double angle zakho is either une double angle cos since your revision guys cos 2 theta. You know that double angle cos 2 theta eyokuqala isolution cos squared expression theta minus sin squared theta. Eyesibini ibe ngu I think so izoba ngu1 or ngu2 cos squared theta minus 1. Then the last one will be 1 minus 2 sine squared theta. Now then kubekho ke ngoku enye eka cos eka sine. So double angle ka sine bayibi sine 2 theta. Double angle ka sine izaba ngubani sine. Sorry mandibhale mandihle apha ezantsi kancinci so that to open up space. Okay, so ngizayibhala izoba ngu-sine 2 theta is equal to e1 yona identity yayo ngu-2 sine theta cos theta. Okay, so question yethu kuthiwa kufunwa u-cos theta. So we want to know yeyiphi i-double angle between eka cos neka sine esinoyi-expressa in terms of sine only. Sorry bekuthiwa kufunwa usine not u-cos. Sorry ndenze i-mistake apha. Kuthiwa kufunwa usine theta ne, and no our angle is a double angle. So now sijonga apha kwezi identity apha kukho u-cos no sine, which means we cannot take this one, izasokolisa. Apha kukho cos, we cannot take this one because nayo izasokolisa, izatsalisa. But now this one I find it perfect because ino sine, but into kufuneka siyenzile kufuneka siyenze lo sine theta is subject of the formula. Ino sine theta only a variable. Are we together? Zonke ezinye ngamanani. Then apha kulena kukho cos no sine, nayo izasokolisa, we cannot take it. So now thina esoyisebenzisa apha sosebenzisa sizothi okay, we know that u-cos 2 theta, remember besimxelelwe that u-cos 2 theta is equal u-cos 2 lesigqibo umphendula apha sithe ukutha ngoku ngu-negative 7/9 simxelelwe. Then if u-cos 2 theta, then now it u-cos theta simsuse from on the left hand side, simsuse from i-double angle simse kwi-identity. So sikhethe iphi identity? So u-cos 2 theta, in other words, ithetha ukuthi le nto u-1 minus 2 sine squared theta nguye lo 7/9. Then udlale ngayo ke ngoku ne we take u-1 simtranspose to the left hand to the right hand side. Then after taking that to the right hand side, then we divide by -1. You already know guys, ngoku divide -1, you just change the signs of whatever is on the expression. So if kasitshintsha 1 simsa ngabe negative, because clearly so divide ngo-1, so izochintsha i-sign. So lena ibingu -7/9 izaba positive, nalawana befika wa-negative uzofika abe positive. So now expression yethu izaba ngu-2 sine squared theta, which is equal to what? 7/9 plus 1. I hope guys nibambile la nto yala sign ba why now usithi simbolisile u1 waphinda wa positive, because siphinde sa divide ngale negative sign cango go 2 sine squared. Hope it's make sure. Okay, but now ezinye steps asisazivezi sixulating ngoku. Then now we again after whatever answer soyifumana ngapha sizoyidivide ngo2 ne. So to have sine squared theta is equal to, if you feel like not showing the steps we straight to answer, it's fine. So then on the right hand side we have to 7/9 plus 1, which gave us the answer as now 16/9. Then we divide that again 2, it gave us 8/9. So we have 8 over 9. We introduce the square root both sides. This and this will cancel. Then you can see sine theta will be equal to root 8. Do we have root 8? Root 8 went on 4 times 2. So it's going to be 2 root 2. Una apha ezantsi. So root is square root ska 9, we know because it's square root in numerator, now we denominate square root ska 9 3. So this is our solution, guys. I hope it makes sure. I hope everyone is happy. Wasting time. If you are not happy, remember unganibuza ku WhatsApp. Okay, now this one. Consider, determine now the general solution. So sizodila ne general solution ke manje. Let's look into the general. Determine the general solution of 2 sine alpha cos alpha, which is equal to 2 cos squared alpha minus 2 sine squared alpha. Okay, now let's come to this now. Now, how determine a general solution? Into yokuqala oyijongayo, guys, ujonga ukuba ii-angle zakho ayo angle the same. Ingaba ii-angle zakho zi-double angle zonke okanye ingaba ii-angle zakho ziyi-single angle zonke and ingaba zi-same angle. Okay, if the angle eziyi-1 zonke ziyafana, so you are happy. Now uchekishe i-ratio. Are you having the same ratios? Ne? Because now remember, in order for you ukwenza i-general solution, you have to have a single ratio. You have to have the same ratio. It's either tan, cos, if sine no cos. So if sine no cos, if you ikhona indlela onoyimanipulate ngayo wenze utan from it to create another ratio, that's fine. Ne? But what I'm noticing here is that on the left hand side, I'm having a double. This is an identity of a double angle. And also on the right hand side, this is an identity of a double angle. If I take out common factor, this will be cos squared alpha minus sine squared alpha. Then happened, 2 sine alpha cos alpha. So now by jongaring, I'm having a double angle. So if ngayitshintsha le nto double angle nale ndiyitshintshe, mhlawumbi izathu icutheke i-expression yam isimplifyeke kancinci, then ndibone ke ngokuba ndizaphuma njani. Then masize ke ngoku, so ka siyijongayo le ngu-2 sine cos sine, so yi-double angle kabani ka-sine, so izoba ngu-sine 2 alpha, which is equal to, on this side we have 2 cos squared alpha minus sine squared alpha, i-double angle kabani ka-cos, so cos 2 alpha. So still our angles are still there, the same. But now we are having a challenge. A ratio is not the same. But we know that if we can divide by cos both sides, sizokwazi kuzakwenzeka enye i-ratio. Remember, in order for you to divide by cos, uzokwazi udivide nge-ratio. Udivide nge-ratio xa kuzofomisheka enye i-ratio. Awukwazi udivide ngo-cos just nje umlahle kungabikho nto yenzekayo. Are we together? So now, in order for us apha sizokwazi udivide ngayo cos, because once we divide ngo-cos 2 theta, there's something that we are going to achieve. Akazulahleka nje cos 2 theta, but uzaformisha another ratio which is tan 2, so not 2 theta, to alpha, which is equal to 2. Then there it is, we are having our single ratio. We look for a reference angle which got 2 alpha. A reference angle got 2 will be what? Will be arctan 2. Ube soyocofoza i-calculator yakho, shift tan 2, close your bracket and give us your answer. Round off to 2 decimal places, 63.43. Okay, So 2 alpha, this, remember guys, this is your reference angle. You go back to your standard format before no arc, ne? Before you transpose your ratio utan ibe sinjani standard format yakho. Answer solution yaso by jongaring upper, it was positive. Then you ask yourself, utan positive, was it positive on which quadrant? On the third quadrant and on the quadrant. I hope it make sure. So what are the reduction formulas for the first quadrant and the third quadrant? You are going to apply them to get the final solution for each general solution. I hope it makes sure. Therefore, taking the first quadrant, so quadrant, that means 2r will have to be equal to, with first quadrant, it's theta. So it's going to be, it's going to theta, e reduction e formula here. To remember, you are using which reduction formulas? You are using a reduction zilapha kule horizontal line for each general solution. Ungamsebenzisi u90, ne? Usebenzise only ezi. So elapha ngu theta with first quadrant. So ngu theta. So which means reduction formula it is about theta, which is theta reference angle. So in other words, it's your reference angle 63,43 plus it in the period tan. Remember the period tan, it's 180 degrees, 180 degrees K. Then you divide everything to both sides or both sides. So this and this will cancel. You will have your alpha equals to, for the calculator again, 63.43 divided by 2. So 31.72. 2 degrees plus 180, which will give us 90 K. Therefore, you can say upper K wako is the element of integers. Then it was not only utana positive only with first quadrant, also utana positive with third quadrant, remember. Ne? So third quadrant, third quadrant, we have the solution for the third quadrant. It 2 theta will be equal to what? With third quadrant, 180 plus reduction formula. So it's about 180 plus your reference angle, which is 63.43. Then plus, guys, ezimax eziphisayo okumele it's period ka tan 180. Then whatever you are going to get here, you will divide by 2. You will divide by 2. Cancel. That means your theta will be equal to, so for the calculator again. So it's going to be 90 plus. So it's going supposed to be 121.72 here plus 90 degrees K. So but when I prove on a calculator, maybe mental maths is not on point. So if we take 180 plus 63,43 equals to, then you divide everything by 2 again. Yes, you are getting my answer. Okay, so sibuye sifana sina solution yetu nantia. Then lastly, signature yako. Therefore, nalapa K is an element of integers. So I hope everyone is happy also with that one. Then size ke ngoku yabona consider ngaba bandikayo. I know umprove, guys. So we are here to prove. So kuto must prove in kuto must prove, consider that you are given cos 2x plus cos squared x plus 3 sine squared x over 2 minus 2 sine squared x. They are saying, let us prove that this is equal to 1 over cos squared x. Okay. So now what do we notice on the right hand side? We have 1 as enumerator, we have cos as denominator. So it's clear that we need to do something about this denominator such that this denominator will be written in terms of cos, and that cos has to be cos squared. I hope it makes sure. So we have to, it have to be cos squared. It have to be written in terms of cos. Okay. And also, when numerator yethu nayo, angle yethu upper its x have to be a single angle, not be a double angle. Okay, so we can try something about sine squared, about 2 sine squared, or in the meantime, siqale focus on lapha phezulu. Upper phezulu, what are we having? We are having a cos 2x, we're having a cos squared x, we're having a 3 sine squared x, and the right angle side here too, as now double angle. So let's deal with this double angle. What can we do about this double angle? Kule double angle if still nayo, you will not notice that if uthatha eyokuqala mhlawumbe uzothatha u-cos squared x, because apha phezulu kukho cos kukho no sine, so we might use both, or leni izoba no cos no sine, ne? So u-cos squared x minus squared x, double angle yethu leyana, ne? So siyitshintshile plus u-cos squared x lo behleli khona plus u3 sine squared x. Okay, ezantsi we can take out a common factor if we feel like it, and also in that common factor, taking out the common factor in the meantime, asikayazi uba sizakwenza ntoni ngale nto isezantsi, common factor ngu2, then usheke no sine squared x, 1 minus sine squared x. Then by drawing power 1 minus sine squared x, okay, akakabi akho nto asinika yona, sisayibona nje, but sibone ka sifika apha phezulu, then you can easily see that you can add this with this one, and this will subtract this one. Are we together? Okay. So now you know from what rate 10 na what rate I apha ukuba u-cos squared x plus u-sine squared x ulingana no-1. Xa uwelisa u-sine squared x usheka ngapha, kusheka bani? U-cos, usheka u-cos squared, wenza u-cos squared x, subject to the formula will always be equal to 1 minus sine squared x. U-sine uzafika tshintshe i-sine on the right hand side. So which means ukawubona 1 minus sine squared x uyafana nobona u-cos squared x. I hope iyabuya guys, is it get niyayikhumbula? Okay, so xa sibuya apha ke ngoku sifika apha sodibanisa u-cos no-cos, then that means we'll have something new phayana, sizoba no-2 cos squared x. Then u-negative sine squared plus 3 sine squared uzoshiyeka no-2 sine squared x. Then apha ezantsi soshiyeka no-2 into, because this iyafana uba ngu-cos, into cos squared x. Then from by jongering up napha phezulu ungayikhupha ngaphandle i-common factor if you feel like it. So abanye bathi mandiqale ndikhuphe i-common factor, khupha i-common factor yakho engu-2, koshiyeka cos squared x, which you know that is 1, then koshiyeka u1. Then apha nalapha kukho u2 into cos squared x, guys. Then by jongering u2 no2 bazokhanselishana, ushiyeke u1 over cos squared x. Nanso uyigqibile. Therefore you can see phayana ukuba the left hand side equals to the right hand side. So besilibele ukutsho phana uba sithathe thina i-left hand side to prove. Okay, lastly kwathiwa ke ngoku for which values of x of x is x element, the values of x element and when sanikwa i-period okanye sanikwa i-interval, on the interval when x is the element of 0 to 360 will be undefined. So you already know, in order for any expression to be undefined, that means the denominator, if any expression is a fraction, it's a over b, that means the denominator has to be b has to be equal to 0. Okay, so now this expression, it's having two sides. You can take it from this side or you can take the denominator from this side. It's up to you. Kuxhomekeke kuwe guys, noba uthatha AP, but as long as 2 0, then look for i-solutions zakho. I hope it makes sure. Then now if we start with this one, if we take this one, cos squared theta, because on the right hand side it's more simplified, so that in order for the expression to be undefined, that means cos squared x has to be equal to 0. Then we cancel out a square root both sides, so this and this will cancel, then is over plus minus, so 0 no solo neutral most 0 akekho negative akekho positive, therefore we'll have x is equal to 0. So you know that whenever cos x elingana no 0 yi-vertical line leyo ulingana no 0 kule line okanye ku-270, that's but ufola kula vertical line plane yakho. Okay, so now if we assume that cos positive, 0 positive, that means sizothi ke ngoku cos kweyiphi quadrant is either follow ku first quadrant or ku third quadrant, positive quadrant. So sifune i-reference angle, si-transpose cos, will have x is equal to arc cos 0, which for the calculator is akunika bani 90 degrees. We can prove it. Shift cos 0 90 degrees. Okay, this still is your referral angle, ne? Okay, but now since we are solving for x for an interval, this is our first referral angle, and the referral angle, it's between 0 degrees nabani no 360, so iya qualify kule interval basini yona. Then now sijonge ngokule referral angle asisebenzisa kwenye i-quadrant. If siyayimove ke usithena kweyiphi quadrant nakwi fourth quadrant ku 360 minus 90 naye you'll find that uya qualifier. I hope it makes sure. Then ezosibangela lento ibe undefined, so it's going to be 90 plus, so now which means it's going to be 90. If we move and go 90 degrees, 90 plus 90 180. 180 still fall on this quadrant. Are we together? Or 360 minus 90. 360 minus 90 will give us 270 or 90. 180. But quadrant is 2, is 2, so is over 360 270, because it have to be on this line 90 no 270. So sathi ke ngokuthi naso thathi first quadrant ne the third quadrant, so sathi any solution yethu o x is equal to 90 akunyanzelanga uyibonise. Enye isolution yakho izaba ngathi 360 ecaleni minus 90, which will give you 270. So no 270 na nankuya phaya. So these solutions zam easy 2 guys. I hope it makes sure kweza referral angles zakho, playing around them. Okay, masiye sizoya kwi session yesibini.